It is Chair Shot Reality on WrestlingInc.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do what you got to do. I'm Justin LaBar. She is the queen of the silver screen, the KT Arquette. Drew Springsteen out on postal assignment. Josh Eisenberg's down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We'll have him in just a little bit talking Rey Mysterio. But before we talk Rey Mysterio, one bit of nostalgia coming back. Let's talk about maybe the bigger comeback, Katie. Shawn Michaels, it is official after much speculation and belief. He is going to step back in the ring for the first time in 8 years.
Yeah.
Almost 9 years.
Almost 9.
He's going to step in the ring. DX is back with a new T-shirt, of course. So
of course.
Get the merch sales. Him and Triple H against Undertaker and Kane in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. Again, I have to ask. I mean, we're all excited, but like, is this the way you want it? Do you want to see the first match on a whole different continent and in a tag match? I mean, I don't know.
Well, of course, it's going to be in a different continent. It's going to be in a whole other side of the world.
Yeah, but do you want that?
Because they want to bring all those people in. It's nostalgic.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, do you really think this is Saudi Arabia? They can't even bring the female performers over there, but yet you're going to have two men that are 50 years old pointing to their crotch and telling them to suck it. Is Saudi Arabia ready for suck it?
Well, yeah, men can do whatever they want, especially out of this country. That women are. If women did that, can you imagine? Can you imagine if they went?
This is gonna be a culture shock. Like right now, if somebody in Saudi Arabia is watching this and they're in a public place and see you doing that, they probably get in trouble or something. I don't know. They can't
get arrested.
Maybe.
I get arrested. Well, it's exciting. What better way to start it off? Because people are like, oh, they're coming back. We got to do it home. No, you got to do it far away. That's what brings fans in. That's what brings people in, and it makes you want to watch from far away.
I'll say this. You know, there was nothing. You know, the greatest Royal Rumble was the first show they did with this in this Saudi Arabia tour that they're supposed to do now for the next decade. There really wasn't anything memorable about that show. You know, we saw Brock and Roman. We've seen that. We saw a 50-person Rumble. Okay, but really, you know, okay. This will at least make this show memorable. The fact that it is going to be the return of Shawn Michaels in the ring, and at you know, he's over 50 now, and he still looks incredible.
Yeah.
Other than him not having any hair, he looks like in incredible shape. He's pulling the LaBar right now.
Yeah, he looks amazing, and you know, the whole out of retirement thing, like, it's gonna look great. It's gonna be great, and of course, why not to have it against Undertaker and Kane? That makes it even more nostalgic.
All right, so I ask you this: so Triple H beat the Undertaker finally got a win over the Undertaker, which he didn't have. He beat the Undertaker via assistance, basically, from Shawn Michaels,
of course,
in Australia. So, putting your booking hat on, who do you have win the tag match? Keeping in mind, it's heavily rumored that this is not a one-off for Shawn, that Shawn is probably going to have more matches, so they could have another Taker-Shawn match if they wanted. So which tag team would you have win this?
I think it's going to be Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
In order to, if Shawn's coming out of retirement or he's just going to be here for a little while longer, of course they should have them go under and continue the feud. And then you never know, you'll have Shawn and Undertaker once again. And who knows, he'll finally get that rematch. Shawn will finally have gone over on Undertaker, as did Triple H.
I think if Shawn,
DX is back.
I think Shawn and Taker will have another match eventually, one-on-one. I think that will come out of this.
Oh yeah.
And I think this would be the perfect way for Undertaker to end. You know, the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels have such immense respect for each other in real life. Hence why Shawn took all these years that he didn't want to go back on his retirement. He wanted to honor the match he had with the Undertaker. Maybe that's the way the Undertaker goes out.
Oh yeah.
Is that he goes out by losing to Shawn.
One.
He's very old school. He's a guy. The Undertaker, whenever the Undertaker, if he gets to decide when his last match is, if as long as his last match isn't his last match because of debilitating injury, if he gets to decide and walk to the ring knowing it's his last one, he's very old school, and the old school mentality is he's going to want to lose. He's going to
right.
So
because it's always like the vet lets the rookie go, even though Shawn
even
is,
though
there's no rookie.
But I could see him
but,
wanting to give it back to Shawn.
Oh, I completely agree. I think that would be wonderful of Undertaker to do one. It would be a smart thing. When the whole Lesnar thing happened, it was story based because who was going to break the streak?
Right.
Lesnar. You don't have anybody else. So with this all playing into effect, and Shawn's out of retirement, he's coming back for a little bit. What better way to go out? Undertaker, he gets that rematch, or Shawn gets that rematch, and Undertaker gets to go out the way he wants to.
Are you bothered? Let me ask you this, because this is the opposite side of the coin I've seen on social media and everywhere. Is there are some people that aren't in favor of any of this. They think that WWE is relying too much on major stars of the past and not giving enough opportunity or chance maybe to the current rising stars. you know, if you were in WWE right now as a performer, like how would you take? I mean, some look at it as okay, it's just making more money for everybody, but other people look at it, okay, they are taking up a spot that could be to somebody else's. Like, what do you think about WWE relying on so much old school talent?
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense for the sense that, yeah, we have all these new upcomers coming out and they're making great strides and they're getting over with everyone. But with the women's evolution going so far and with having the Evolution pay-per-view coming up, it just makes sense. You're having all sorts of throwbacks. Even though I think the men are becoming jealous because the women are having all these Evolution things going on with Trish and Lita and everyone's coming back. But it makes sense. It mixes well because the women have all these throwbacks. You might as well throw the men in there. It's the right time to do it. It would be different if they just had the women's evolution going on, like I said, but then you know, continue with the new guys and then to just shut them out. I think it would go up, 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 stop, and go back down instead of going up and like making waves.
I understand WWE you're using the star power if they want, you know, again, and we're not going to get into the political side of this, but if the Saudis are paying WWE $10 million a year, which is what it's reported for the next 10 years.
Wow!
$10 million a year to do these shows.
Holy crap.
And again, if you're a business person, think about it. If they're offering you $10 million and they say, yeah, we like some of these guys you have now, but hey, can you get Triple H to come? Hey, we like that Shawn Michaels guy. Remember him? Hey, we remember Undertaker. I mean, you can't.
Might as well.
You can't blame WWE for honoring and again, if Vince is getting $10 million and he's able to offer $1 million to Shawn, $1 million to Taker, and he's still got some money left over for this. I mean, from a business standpoint, you can't blame him. From a fan standpoint, I understand some fans wanting to see some of the current guys get more of these spots, but again, it's business, and
there's only so many places that the new guys can go to. You can't push them all. You can't give them all storylines and feuds and placements. Like
it would also be random. Like I know people say like, oh, Finn Balor when he's the Demon, let's see the Demon versus the Undertaker. And it's like it takes a while to build that kind of a story, and the Undertaker's not around enough to build that right now. But him and Shawn can pick up where they left off. Simple. Him and Triple H can pick up where they left off. Simple.
I mean, side note, I personally wouldn't want to see the Demon versus Undertaker. I'd rather them pair, if anything. Well, I mean, at least for the moment that it is, where it's going to be Shawn and Undertaker. Might as well throw like one in there. Right. I see what you mean. But I mean, I think it's a perfect time for it. I think it wouldn't make sense if they didn't do it now, and then to have all these new guys. Like, where do we put them? You're forcing it on the fans, kind of like the whole Roman Reigns situation, but a whole nother story. You don't want to push it on them. You want to ease it. That's the part of a good storyline.
Well, and you said something very interesting. You said, you know, you can't push everybody. You know, like, and I always try to remind that to people who are like, hey, why isn't this guy getting pushed? Why isn't this guy lost? That sucks. And you know, you can only have, not everybody can be on top. Somebody has to be the first match. Somebody has to be the last match. Somebody has to be in the middle. So you have to remember that not everybody can get a push all at once.
There's a right place for everyone.
Right.
Doesn't matter how long, there's a right place for everyone.
Right place for everyone. Katie's right place, sitting right here next to me. Right place for you, sitting here watching. Please leave a comment. Hit her up on social media. Let her know what you're thinking. I'm here too if you want to talk to me. We got Josh Eisenberg coming up talking about Rey Mysterio. He's returning at the 1000th episode of SmackDown next Tuesday in Washington, D.C., Washington Capitals territory. And still to come, Katie and I will talk about Bobby Lashley. He's now heel, as well as a last woman standing, Becky Lynch and Charlotte at the Evolution pay-per-view. We've got plenty more coming up here on Chair Shot Reality.